Yeah, I push on. I push on. I keep working. I keep doing. That's what I do best, is work hard. And I'm pushing and I'm pushing, and we've got top players in the squad. Whoever plays can do a job. But for personal pride, of course, I want to be in the team, and I'll be training as hard as I can and pushing as hard as I can to give the manager a problem and get myself in the team.
New weekly canon.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Let's get right into it. We're coming off a win. A round of applause for everyone involved. Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Ken, a.k.a. the Petite Rodcastle. Thank you for turning in. This is the big review show where we go through and we review the most recent game. In this case, it is Arsenal versus Cardiff City. We're coming off a 2-1 win. Let's get right into it. So, the starting lineup this week, we had Leno in goal. We had Monreal and Mustafi playing center back. And as our fullbacks, we had Kalashniak and Lichtsteiner. We had Aubameyang playing forward. We had Lacazette playing forward. We had El Nini playing CDM. We had Guendouzi and Torreira flanking El Nini in a 4-3-3. And a 4-1-2-1-2. And we had Ozil in the number 10. So, yeah, as you can see here, we basically played a 4-1-2-1-2, which is probably Emery's second favorite formation behind his 4-2-3-1. And it's tough to say if it worked out pretty well for us. In the first half, we definitely had our problems. We got outplayed a lot in the first half. It wouldn't be unfair to say that Cardiff probably should have gone into the half either up 1-0 or 1-1 they played better in the first half. They played a lot of counterattacking stuff, and we definitely should have had a penalty from Lacazette. But anyway, it went into the half at 0-0, and there were some changes. We started making a few changes very early on. We switched to Iwobi for El Nini at halftime. Still playing the 4-1-2-1-2, but we pulled Torreira back into the center defensive midfield role. We moved El Nini. We moved Iwobi out to the right where Torreira had been playing, and we were still in the 4-1-2-1-2. But our diamond had a couple more creative players in it. After that, we brought Ozil off and brought Ramsey on, and then a little later, we switched out Lichtsteiner for Jenkinson, and we ended up pulling 2 goals out. Lacazette finally got a foul called on him in the box. This was the 3rd time that he had been fouled in the box. He had got fouled in the box once in the first half, and then in the second half, he had got fouled early in the second half. And the 3rd time he got fouled, he was right on the corner of the box, and he got brought down. And they finally ended up calling that. I believe Mike Dean was the ref who ended up calling that. He was the ref for the game. So, Aubameyang stepped up and does what he does. He has a really good penalty conversion rate. He dispatches those really easily. He scored that. We were off on our way. And then Lacazette finished off the scoring a little later. Cardiff got one back in injury time, but by that time the game was pretty much dusted, and we were able to secure the win. If we look at our stats from this game, let's pull them up. So Arsenal had 70%, a little more, 71% of the possession during this game. We had less shots total. We had 15 shots. They had 19 shots. We had twice as many on goal, though. We had 4 on goal. They had 2 on goal. This is a pretty scrappy game. If you were watching the game, you could tell there was a lot of rain coming down. I don't want to be Jurgen Klopp and use the weather as an excuse for anything, but, for anybody who's played, that, the weather does kind of have an effect on, what you're able to do and, how fluid you want to be. No excuses. But yeah, we didn't play our best. We actually accumulated more fouls in Cardiff. We had 14, they had 12. Yellow cards were even, red cards were even. They had one offside. We actually had no offsides. They had far more corner kicks than us. They almost doubled us on corner kicks. In the first half, they had, in total, they had 7. We had 4. During the first half, a lot of times, their corner kicks was where it looked like they were really going to be the most dangerous. And then Leno only had 1 real save to make, and the Cardiff keeper had 2 saves to make. So, yeah, let's move on a little bit. Let's move on to some more stats. Let's look at actually what this means in terms of like a deeper breakdown, right? So if you remember from the review show, we had a 76% chance to win this. There's 17% chance of draw. Cardiff only had an 8% chance. Our adjusted goals rate, based on the stat we had from this, based on the stats that we had, we're right at 2. 1.8 if you round that up, that's 2. Cardiff's adjusted goal rates for the way they played, they got the goal, right on the goal that they were due. Shots based, it tells a little bit bigger of a story. We had, more than 2, slightly more, 2.2, but if you round that down, based on the shots we took, our expected goals were 2. Cardiff's, if you round it up, for their shots that they had, they had 1. Another good tell of the tape here. And their non-shot, our non-shot expected goals, we actually underperformed in this metric. And what this says is that for the non-shot opportunities we created, so basically building up into the final third, for everything we built up into the final third, we should have scored 3 goals. If you want to round that up, it's 2.6, but if you round that up, that's 3 goals. And we only had 2.2 based on our shot basis. So somewhere between finishing in the final third and leading up to the final third, we dropped a shot, right? So, this could have been a 3-1 like I predicted in the review. But, between non-shot expected goals and shot-based expected goals, you see a drop from 3 expected goals to 2 expected goals. And for Cardiff, right on target. They played to pretty much where they were supposed to play at. Based on their non-shot expected goals, they got a goal. So, fair play to Cardiff. If you remember, Cardiff is the team that Emiliano Sala was on his way to signing for when his plane crashed. Rest in peace to Emiliano Sala. I hope they don't give up the search. Let's not give up the search until they find everything they can, including his body, hopefully, so it can be returned to his family. But yeah, this is a really emotional time for Cardiff, so fair play to them, continuing on to play. Arsenal did a really good thing when in their match day programs, they actually put Emiliano Salo's name in it with a poppy next to it, and a lot of the players and staffs wore poppies in remembrance of him. So that was good on them. And yeah, that pretty much rounds up what happened during the week. That pretty much rounds up what happened during the game. Moving on to how that affects our greater standings and our greater surroundings, let's kick up the standings now. So if you look at the standings, Liverpool is still in first after this on 61 points. They actually dropped points. They drew. They drew, I believe it was away from home. But they drew. No, they were at home, and they drew. Manchester City surprisingly dropped points. They lost their game. Tottenham Hotspur had a 2-1 victory, but they actually had to come from behind. They were losing to Watford. We have actually moved into 4th place right now. We are tied with Chelsea on goal differential, and we are ahead because our name begins with an A. Round of applause for everyone involved. Chelsea drops to 5th. They got absolutely demolished playing Bournemouth. They got demolished playing Bournemouth. When was that? Was that yesterday? Yeah, they got demolished playing Bournemouth yesterday. It was a 4-0 defeat. And Manchester United drew. They were down 2-0 to Burnley. And then, they pulled it back miraculously. But, yeah, they ended up drawing 2, dropping points. So, yeah, it looks like in the race for top 4, right now we are sitting in 4th. We are 2 ahead of United, and we are level on points and goal differential with Chelsea. This is really an interesting goal differential because we're both at plus 17, but we have scored more goals. We've scored 10 more goals than Chelsea, but we've also conceded 10 more goals than Chelsea. And our records are absolutely identical, 14, 5, and 5. So, yeah, let's look at the odds makers before we close out and see what they have to say about our actual chances to finish in the top 4 at this point in time. So if you pull these stats up, also a lot of these stats are brought to us by 538. All of the predictive stats are brought to us by 538, and all of the actual game stats are brought to us by ESPN. So if you look at our ratings right here, we are still at a 79.4 Sporting Performance Index. So if the league were to end just based on average simulated seasons, we would still finish 2 points behind Chelsea. We still have, according to the odds makers, a 35% chance to make the top 4. Chelsea is still sitting at 50-50. Tottenham has an above 90% chance. Man City and Liverpool both have nearly 100% chances. Liverpool is still very highly favored to win the league at 74%. United, based on their form, has almost a 10% less chance to make it than we do, so they pretty much have a 1-5. We have about a 1-3. Chelsea has a 1-2 right now. Just depending on the run-ins, a lot of people still have to play Man City next. And depending on how that goes, our next game at Man City might not really be that too detrimental to us. If we can somehow take a point or two away from that, depending on how the other teams perform, that could be really helpful for us in the race. But yeah, this is it. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Big Review Show. You know how we like to finish this.
See you soon. Have a great evening, and don't forget, North London is red.
All right, once again, round of applause for everyone involved. Have a great night, everyone, and we are out.
Come on, guys, subscribe.
Right now.